There we go. Music. Lo-fi. Got the glove on. And I'm going to tweet about this. Minimize that and pop out the chat. What up, Beninja? Zach, I'm in the same boat, man. I love them. I was screaming, like, no joke. I get up at 5 a.m. for the gym every day. And so by the time the direct coming out, I was fading. I was like, I didn't have coffee. I was just like, I'm just going to take a nap. I'll finish the direct. It woke me right up. It woke me right up. I saw it. I screamed. I was like, I'm awake for the entire day now. Everything is perfect. Oh, my God. What up? ENT? Heyman. Right, I think. What's up, Deshaun? Morning, everyone. What's up, K Superfan? Hang on. Oh, we're going to be drawing today. I'm so excited. I love these little guys. I think I prefer Y over X. I don't quite know. I'm still figuring it out. I think I like Y, though. But today what we're going to be doing on this stream, little art, as I always do. Well, not always, but what I like to do. Yeah, dude, man, you got to get the grind on, you know? Wakes me up for the day. It's great. Love 5 a.m. gym sessions. They always suck when you wake up. You wake up and you're like, I want to go back to bed so badly. But the minute you're up after the gym, it's like, oh, yeah, this is amazing. I'm ready for the day. And you got plenty of time. What's up, Heyman? What's the idea? Better than getting Mega Charizard Z. I would riot, Deshaun. Oh, that would be... that'd be the worst. But what we're doing now is, as you guys know with my series, I'm a big fan of Fat Pikachu from Adventures Manga. As you've seen in my series, I draw Ash's Pikachu as Fat Pikachu. What if we had Fat Pikachu versions of the Megas? So that's what we're going to be doing today. That's why you see my references. What's up, Alex? Gotta go and bang out a lab report. I'll try and pop back later if this gets done. Hell yeah, Alex. Get on that grind. Alex, you're on that college grind. Oh, I do not envy you. But that Pikachu is fairly easy to draw. We're starting with Y today because it's my favorite. So... But, you know, it's also going to be the easier one to draw in a weird way. Because, it's based on Pikachu. What's up, PD? So what if I replace Serena with Karina? I'm not going to sit here and be like, I haven't toyed with the idea. I know who the Kalos companions are. Serena's not one of them. Because I hate her. This is gonna, by the way, this is interesting for me because, like, I'm gonna actually try and do pose work for once. And, like, so, like, I'm gonna be figuring out what I'm gonna be doing here with this guy. I might just start with a little base rough and then go from there. What's up, Psyduck? I have not seen the Demon Slayer movie. I didn't even know it was out yet. He's a little hunched over. Yo, Dolly, what are your thoughts on the Cowstar Megas and them being locked behind online battles as well as the DLC announcement before the game is ever released? Well, Riley, I don't like the way they're behind, the way they're locked. Unfortunately, one of my biggest issues with XY the games was that you don't really have a lot of megas to work with in my mind until the post game. But on the other hand, I love the designs. Though I will say, I'm a little okay on Mega Greninja. I love it. Don't get me wrong. Great design. But I think it's because we had Ash Greninja. And also, like, I feel like so many fan versions of Ash Greninja or, like, Mega Greninja have come out that, like, I saw it and I was like, the most interesting part is it's the upside down. And I was like, oh, it's cool. I like it. But I'm more excited for Delphox and Chestnut. And don't get me wrong, I'm no Greninja hater. It was the starter I picked in XY. I think Ash's Greninja is very well written. I love it. I'm not a fan of Ash Greninja the form, but Greninja is an objectively well-written character. Don't ever see them evolving Ash's Pika, but kind of see Captain Pikachu evolving so it can Mega Evolve into one of these. I'm of the opinion that if it would evolve into one, it probably would evolve into... Weirdly enough, it's kind of hard because Y is the one that looks more like Pikachu. So I feel like a Pokemon that's going to stay... That would stay forever Pikachu, Mega Evolving to that, kind of is like a full circle moment. Shout out to Xanalyst. You guys don't get that. It makes sense in that regard. But for Captain Pikachu, his entire thing is he wants to fly, you know, like the rising Volt Tackle. So X over here that can levitate feels like the perfect form for him. So it's kind of like hard to decide. I could see a scenario like the Genesect movie where if Cap, say, evolved into Raichu and could Mega Evolve, he could go between both. I hate that the Kalos Mega starters are locked, but I think it's so they don't overshadow the ZA starters. That's actually a great way of thinking about it, Zach. That makes a lot of sense. No, it's one of those things where like it's like all right, it doesn't mean it wouldn't prevent me from using a Kalos starter in the game anyways. But like I'm curious. I'm curious what gonna be, because I mean, if you could theoretically trade items maybe in between ZA games or something, you could find a way to give it, like, you could start a new file, or have a already beaten file, and then trade the Mega Stone over. I don't know if you can do that, but there's something. Oh yeah, by the way, episode 109 of Horizons does Ting kill the Glalie. Rip Glalie, man. Why they always do my boy like that? I can see, by the way, when I draw like Fat Pikachu, I always understand why they made the decision to redesign Pikachu the way they did. Because in a weird way, he's kind of hard to draw at times, and it's because he's so bean-shaped. Hello, what Mega Raichu do I prefer, Mohammed? I prefer Y, I think. You know what's funny, PD? I do think Mega Greninja is the weakest, but I think it's just because it's the most oversaturated. It's like one of those things where it's like I initially wasn't a fan of Mega Hawlucha when I saw the animation of it, because I thought the sparkles on it, I was like, it's too clothing-like. But then I saw it in game, it didn't have the sparkles, it looked more like part of its body, and I was like, oh, this is great. But also, I'm kind of of the opinion when I have a problem with a Mega Evolution, in my mind, I want to have a, what could you have done with it? And so, in similar to way with Greninja, I'm like, what else would you do with Hawlucha other than what they did? So it's kind of like, yeah, I think Greninja is good. Yeah, I mean, keep it to a sentence. I need to be able to read this, chat. You're good, don't worry. I just keep it to a sentence. How is his legs drawn? So let's see. Thoughts on Mega Malamar? I think it's cool. I'm not really much of a Malamar fan in general, so it's more of like, oh, that's a cool Mega. With Chestnut now having its own Mega Evolution, does that make you rethink your thoughts on giving Ash Chestnut? I will say the new Megas have made me consider some team changes. There is one Mega out there, I'm not going to say which, that has possibly made it to Ash's Kalos team. But with a lot of that stuff, well, like what you guys don't know is that when I make these teams for Ash, I generally will do there's kind of a theme I'm going for based on the story. Not exactly like a theme team, but each kind of group, especially in their personalities, kind of like I equate them to something. So the Kalos team already has an established thing that I'm not going to go into. But I need a smaller eraser. But I don't think this is kind of a light spoiler. I don't think Chestnut's gonna make it, and simply just because of the nature of what Chestnut is, like from a theme perspective, it doesn't really fit with what I'm doing with Kalos Ash. Which I'm not gonna go into that spoilers, even if it is like 8 years possibly down the road. If only because with a lot of future Ash changes, or not changes, but like the story I'm gonna take Ash Ketchum on over the years, I need to get the build up first for it to make more sense. Personally, on looking at the Megastone seasons, come back later. I think it's fine if they just loop between all three of them. That's fine. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm naming my Mega Lucha Strong Bad. Nice reference. I like it. I think he needs to be a bit wider. He's not as chonky as, or he needs to be chonkier. Let me get my mic closer to my face so I can speak. Hello, Dollysoft. What's up, Masoji? If you go to Pokemon.com, they have the in-game image of Greninja on the floor, not upside down. While it's in Meg form, it looks like they used a lot of Ash Greninja inspiration. That's probably right. Yeah, and it's also kind of like, I mean, they had to do the big shuriken. Like, why wouldn't you? It's really cool. Plus, all the Kalos starters kind of have a weird theme of, like, each having a weaponry on them in their Mega Evolution. Not a weird theme, but, like, Delphox has the Witch Broom and the Fiery Sticks. Chestnut has its axes, maces, whatever you like to call them. Lollipops. And Greninja would have the big shuriken. So I get what they're going for. Hear me out. Spinel catching the evil Malamar from the XY series? Possibly. He has Behem, which is kind of in the same vein, but I could see it. I'm so glad that Pokemon from the region get the regional gimmick used because it was so dumb Kalos Pokemon didn't get Megas. I talked about that with some friends, and I did get pointed out that I don't know if this is confirmed, but kind of Mega Evolution being a way to revitalize older Pokemon. Not necessarily like give weak Pokemon, you know, make them better, because that doesn't fly that flies in the face of logic, because all those Pokemon are locked behind post game. So who, like, you're still using a weak Pokemon throughout the entire game until the post game. So I can understand why they didn't do him. Though, in my mind, the line of Chestnut, or of the Megas, of the Kalos starters plus the Raichus would have been a sick XY. Like, instead of having the Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, you have those three and Raichu. That would have been sick. In the next episode next week, I think I said somewhere that there will be 1 and 2 weeks out. I'm not sure if I'm just losing. Okay, actually, yeah, well, what's up, Boki Simon? What's up, Jacob? I'll go into that. So, current status next episode. I'm very close to being done with it. I basically have like 2 more minutes to edit, and then I have to just go back and do facial expression drawings and a little bit of animation work. Reason it's taking so long, I've been in and out of my state, my house, for multiple trips to move people or to go to a a job test with my brother, for him, not me. So I've been in and out of the house, and then I had family in for 2 weeks that I had to go to, my sister and her fiance. And also work's been crazy. So it's been a kind of slow month for me. On top of that, the back half of the episode, basically, of the 3 parts I make in each episode, the last 2 got corrupted, and I had to start from scratch on them. So what's going to happen and stuff, because I already have those recorded and edited, and audio-wise, is I'm going to release the first 10 minutes and stuff. I know people don't like that. I know I said I'm not going to do the cut each episode up. This is one exception just because of how crazy this month's been. But I want to get something out, not only for you guys. I think it's a good enough part that it could stand on its own. I want to get something out for you guys, but also for my own algorithm, you know? So I'm not, like, 2 months not posting anything. Basically, I'm going to get that part done, release that, and then the other parts should come out very quickly. Not saying, like, a week, like, 2 weeks is what I'm hoping for. Like, hopefully those should come out very quickly, because I don't have to do the whole writing process for them. There are a lot of battles, but also, you know, it's good. So that's kind of the current game plan. So hopefully at next Saturday, because Saturday is the best day to release videos. So even if I get it done on Monday, which will just make me start working on the other parts. So next Saturday is when I'm shooting to release it. Mark that down in your calendars. Yeah, exactly. Basically, She-Manchi, at the end of my video, when I do my whole disclaimer, I'm gonna do like hey, this is what happened, just so you know. What's up, Iceman? I'm pretty sure it came out in the Terra League. The reason they went with all the older Pokemon, more popular Pokemon for Megas is because the backlash to Black and White. Oh, interesting. Hey, what are your opinions on the new Megas for the Calistars? I love them. I think they're well designed. You know, it's made me super excited for ZA. You know, I couldn't. Yeah. Let's do like the whipcord tail, kind of doing like that. Maybe not something like that. I'll save the tail for last because it's the most adjustable. Most wishes, we got Mega Flygon with Sanda potentially being in the game. I can't remember. I'm gonna take some liberties when drawing Fat Pikachu. It's just the body type I want to go with. Kind of give him a little sinister look. Ears. I hope the rank system isn't messed up though, so I think they can do this system correctly and make these Megas ranked exclusively. Makes sense, but they're gonna need to actually try. Yeah, it'll be curious. Did you see all the leaks for all the Megas that are gonna be in ZA? I have not. I've actively avoided those just because I don't care for leaks in general. You know, it's kind of like spoiling things before. Like, I'd rather watch things organically come out than like listen to leakers. Mostly because, I mean, I never feel like leakers are much of an authority. It always feels like, guys, I heard this. You know, it's like, you know, I know some can be more valid than others, but I don't care for them. I don't care for what they do. We'll do a little part there. What kind of... Oh, yeah. But, no, we're doing great today. I am in love with this Raichu. I'll do a little bit of a separate layer here. Oh, it's more of a curve than it is that. Do a little bit of that. A little bit of that. It's always kind of fun to draw on stream. Kind of helps me keep practice in between all the other things. I think what I'll do is just Control J, edit. This is what I like to call cheating. And now I don't have to draw a second horn. Have you decided which starter you're going to pick? It's kind of up in the air for me. I was originally going to go Chikorita because, you know, but also I'm like, is it going to be a slog to use Chikorita because it's so defensively? Then I was going to go for Alligator because I liked for Alligator. And then I was like, I never use Emboar. Why not go Emboar? So I'm kind of waiting to see if we're going to get reveals of the starter megas to really help me solidify that choice. But I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. What are my thoughts on the Pokemon Pocopia game? I love it. I can't wait for that. That seems like it's going to be a blast. You know, I'm not much for like an Animal Crossing type deal, but honestly, that just honestly looks like a lot of fun. Do you know the Unknown King? If yes, then what are your thoughts on it? I don't believe I do. No, I do not know what that is. Me personally, I'm gonna use Totodile to catch a Pokemon, then release it. I'm not a starter guy. Fair enough, Hyman. What do you think of the idea of giving Elite Form Rika's? Think of the idea of giving Elite Form member Rika having a Terra Ground Go-Go. That'd be fun. Good morning, Dolly. Good morning, Tara. How are we doing? We're doing great, Harris. We're just drawing new Mega Raichu. And I'm gonna erase that. There we go. That fits better. How do you usually choose your starter in the games? Usually whichever one I like more. I mean, in order from Kanto to Johto, or Kanto to the end of the Pokemon series, I've chosen Bulbasaur. He's my OG. Love that little guy. Cyndaquil. I think I started with Trico. I played Emerald so much, I can't remember if I start with Trico or Mudkip, but I think it was Trico. Chimchar. Oshawott. Love Oshawott. And Samurott. Froakie. Rowlet. And after Gen 7's Gen 8. When are all the start? Is it Gen 8? Oh, Gen 8's Galar. Inteleon, or Sobble. Then I chose Sprigatito, but I ditched it because I hate all the Paldea starters. Hello, Dolly. I've just started watching the live, even though it isn't finished. I really like the Mega Raichu drawing. It looks really cute and cool. Hey, thanks, Pika Boss. Bet you were happy with the new Megas. Or probably not. I don't know how you feel about Raichus. That has absolutely to do with Pokemon. Have you seen the Demon Slayer popcorn buckets? I have not. Fun fact, Lantern outputs more energy than the entire observable universe. Interesting. Huh. I'm going to try get along in my randomizer or fan game before I go insane. I cannot wait to see the vid. I don't know. Plan just absol hone. We'll see, Riley. But thanks for stopping by. Glad to have you. Let's do a little cleanup work. Do a little this. And now we just got to draw the tail. How do I want to do this? Maybe I don't need to do it wrapping around the body. Maybe just something like that. No, it is just like a massive Pikachu tail. That's the head of it. Kind of looks like he's wielding a club now. Let's reflip that. Just stick it on there. Got a little perspective to this. A lot of art is just... A lot of art is literally just messing around and trying to figure out what works. Kind of like the idea of it. Yeah, my drawings are always kind of flat. What are my thoughts on Mega Sharpedo? I think it's cool. What do you think a Alolan Raichu would look like if it could Mega Evolve? Probably like an even bigger Surfer. What are my opinions on all the other Megas? Well, Mega Victreebel, I like everything but its face. I don't like the derpy face. Hawlucha's cool. Malamar's cool. Dragonite's cool. I don't really know how I'd rank them. Probably, like, I guess in terms of, like, how good they are. It's like... Or how much I like them. Dragonite, Hawlucha, Malamar, Victreebel. I don't know if you were asked this, but what Mega Raichu do you like more? Just like, I like Y more than X. I like that X looks more like Raichu, but I like Y better in terms of design. I think these are horns. I like the horns. Ooh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. What happened to the Thunderstone in the ATR verse? Ash still has it. He didn't just, like, get rid of it. It's just in his bag. Chilling there with the Moonstone that might or might not be used. Who knows? Ooh, okay. I think I got an idea here. So it's bam, 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 bam. So it's kind of like meh, another, nah. Okay, I can make them smaller. This perspective. And bam. Let's see. I don't like where that comes out. Let's have this curve back. What's up, Brachiosaur? Perhaps once we have all the confirmed megas, you can do a ranking of the best. And, yeah, we'll do that, Deshaun, for a stream. That'll be a good stream idea. Yeah. Like it's sharp. Episode 7 I'm aiming to get out this coming Saturday, not today, but the coming Saturday. I am drawing both megas. I'm drawing them in the Fat Pikachu form because I like that form. All right, I think that's good. That's a good base, and then we can get to actually lining this guy. Let's use this pen. We'll change this to a 4. Rank our smoothing up. Give us smooth lines. Yeah, well, so in its Dex entry, Wiko, it says that it looks more like Pikachu. But I'm not of the opinion for people out there that are just like, oh, they just look like Mega Pikachus. They don't look like Mega Raichus, you know? Because, I mean, like, you have the orange, the yellow, the freaking curves on the ears here, the wiry tail. Like, there's a lot of Mega Raichu in there, you know? And at the end of the day, I've tweeted this out, but, like, you know what Raichu is, guys? Fun fact. It's a big Pikachu. We'll see, Iceman. What happened to Mega Alolan Raichu? He died in the war. It was tragic. But you know what? He went out saving a good soldier. That soldier being Psyduck. I don't know. I'm just saying shit to say shit. The Great War of 1812. What do you think of the new Mega Kalos? Love them. I think they're great. I'm just glad Raichu got something, man. Will new Megas be in the story? That's not a spoiler. Yeah, so any Mega is on the table for me. I don't have to... When I get to Kalos, in a similar way, when I get to Gen 3 and abilities are introduced, I have access to all of them. Hidden abilities introduced in Gen 5 and all. You know, I'm not just contained to Gen 3 there. It's kind of one of those things where, like, like, it kind of just, like, I usually try and keep close to how a gen debuted, like using only the moves from that generation. But there are some exceptions that can be made. So all megas on that have been revealed are on the table. So, theoretically, I could give Ash Mega Victory Bell, Malamar, whatever. Not Dragonite and Hawlucha, he already caught those. And if you guys know my magic rule, I can't use anything Ash caught before. Not a fan of how this lineout's going. Let's do this. Make him... Why don't we just make him bigger? I think the designs are good. Hello, my Charizard lovers. Get out. This is a Charizard-free zone. Don't speak his name in my household. My son comes up to me today. Dad, I found this cool new Pokemon. Oh, what is it, son? It's Charizard. You're disowned. If we make it... I mean, well, Ash Greninja can't exist, Splatter Spark, because the whole point of the series is Ash can't use anything he caught before. But if I could use things Ash caught before and I was using Greninja, I would make it Mega Greninja. Is Ash an alternate universe going to get more Pokemon Unova? No, I'm only doing more than one Pokemon in Kanto because Ash is new, but in future series, he's really just going to focus on a team of 6. Because I treat all the Pokemon like characters. So, you want them to have, like, distinct personalities, time to shine, all that. Do I play visual novels? I do not. I read a lot of manga. I've read a lot of light novels, but I've never played a visual novel. Kind of give these things a little bit of a tapered edge. Greetings from Bogota, Colombia. Hell yeah! What's up, Nightcat Design? Man, I just got viewers all around the world. That's sick. Have you read Dandadan? And if yes, I will be so happy. I'm a huge Dandadan fan. I love Dandadan. This mean Lance could Mega Evolve Dragonite in Masters 8. He still won't win. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe the power rankings have changed around in my verse. Maybe Leon's just not this unbeatable Titan. Nope. Okay. Who even says there is a Master's 8? Dun dun dun. I forgot to draw my cheek pouches in the rough, but it doesn't really matter. Ew, gross. When it comes to some of this stuff, Splatter Spark, it's so far in the distance, no one's gonna remember. To all of those who remember that I said there might not be a Masters 8 at the end of my series, in like 10 years from now when I finally get there, possibly. Kudos to you. It is funny because there are some things where I won't spoil it, like Ash's teams, if only because, one, I think the team choices are fun reveals, even if they are years down the line where I'm like, oh, you guys wouldn't even remember them. Maybe I'll just do a little... I think what I'm messing up is I'm not contouring it to his body. Like, I don't want a perfect circle. Yeah, so I don't spoil Pokemon teams, not just because I like to keep you guys on your toes, but because if I spoil the teams, I'm at risk of someone else using my ideas before I can even have to get there, because I have to go in sequential order here. Okay, we're gonna leave the stomach thing for now. Little stomach circle for now. And I didn't go back to my original layer, but that's fine. And we'll save the little blue in the eyes for the end, because that doesn't need an outline around it. And this is the line work process. Trying to match this a little bit more. Give him some little cheeky eyebrow kind of. Let's see. Have you ever think about adding yourself into my story? No, I don't want to put myself in the story. I'd feel like it'd be cringe. If Ash Pikachu evolved into Raichu, which Mega do you think would suit him? Probably Y, I think. If Pikachu evolves, we don't know. I'm happy with the Gen 5 stars got Mega Evolutions, but I'm still an Ash Greninja fan. Yeah, power to you. Have you ever think about adding yourself? Yeah, I read that. Peacemaker Season 2. I'm not a fan of Peacemaker, if I'm being honest. I didn't really care for the series. Maybe Ash will get a lone send slash. We'll see. Day 1682 of asking if Teleon will become an Ash Pokemon. Joke boast, don't answer if you don't want to. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with Galar and all that. Someone entered my house. Stranger danger. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with... I don't know what I'm going to do with Galar in general. Like, I have all my plans all the way up to Alola. Rough plans for what I'm going to do after Alola. But we'll see where the story takes me. I would argue, Iceman, that Mega Raichu was actually a way of affirming the Gorachu fans. All 3 of them. I don't know. Do I got Gorachu fans, truthers in here? Like, nothing against you or anything. I just, like, you know, it's kind of funny to me because I'm just like, it's just a Pokemon that's just not... It's like kind of being like a truther for a beta fan. Or a beta Pokemon design. Hi, Sam. I'm streaming, just FYI. Yep, don't worry. Well, this mic's pretty good, so you don't have to worry about in there, just if you're in here. Yeah. I'm drawing some art. New Pokemon stuff got revealed, so I'm drawing it. Ben's asleep if you want to go lay on him. Go for it. Take it. Friend just borrowed him a vacuum cleaner. I told him to watch his language, just like Captain America.
I got a female coming over, and I gotta act like I clean the house on the regular.
If you didn't catch that, he's got a female coming over, and he has to act like he actually cleans his house. Scared the shit out of me right there. Fucking Christ. What's my opinion on Ash catching more than 6 Pokemon in Unova? I'm fine with the idea. I just think the only problem with Unova, the Unova team in general, in my opinion, is just Ash. The writers needed to evolve more of the Pokemon. I think they, like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like when you get to the Unova League, I don't think anyone had any thought in their head that Ash had a chance at winning that. And I think it's literally because he just didn't have the team for it. Also, when he faced Cameron, he didn't use the best team for it. Sam's my neighbor and my friend. And my brother's friend. He lives like a house down from me. It's also a crazy guy, which is why I go, watch your language. I'm streaming. Please don't get me canceled. Actually, well, you can't cancel me, but don't get me demonetized. That I'm way more worried about. I think Ash should get a shiny Eevee. I've toyed with the idea. When coming up with the Johto team, the idea of a shiny Eevee did cross my mind. Sorry, nicotine. Don't do nicotine, kids. I don't know how old you guys are, but I assume most of my audience is young based on some spelling. All right, so actually we're going to start with here is the tail. The reason for that is because the lines kind of coincide with them. So this is going to be in front of the thing, so I'll draw it so I don't have to worry too hard about the about drawing consecutive smooth lines. I've always loved the idea of like Raichu being able to use its tail like a blade. So I'm kind of taking more inspiration from that to kind of make it more sharp looking. Do you think when you finish the ATR redone verse, will you make what would be my team if I was in the Pokemon anime? Yeah, I mean, like, God, the idea of even being finished with the ATR is insane to me because of how early I am. Like, we're still so in the beginning of the series. Like, I don't think the series truly starts until Hoenn. And that's because I treat, like, Johto... Well, it's kind of more Sinnoh than anything, because... Well, actually, what I'll do here, because this is kind of messing up my lines. You know, Misoji, I was a big believer of that as well, but in realistic sense, any of the evolutions work for Ash. It's simply just a matter of how you write them. But also, I think we're kind of brainwashed into thinking Eevee's the best evolution. In reality, I don't think a psychic battler like Eevee is really that fitting for Ash. In reality, Jolteon kind of fits more of his speed, but he wouldn't get one because he has Pikachu. But, like... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open a new layer. So I can do this. But it's sort of like, someone told me that they think Rapidash is really fitting for Ash, and I'm like, why do you think that? Is it because we had an episode in the anime where Ash interacted with the Ponyta / Rapidash? Because if that's it, it's kind of a weak reasoning in my mind. Like, I think people think very surface level about, and this is nothing against anyone, Misoji or anything. This is more of just a general tangent. But I might be making his tail a little too thick here. I don't want to make it more wiry. Like, I think when people come up with teams for Ash, they don't really think much of personality or, like, not even character arcs, but just kind of how they act within the team. They kind of think of it just a general base idea of, like, this is the funny one, or he's a goofball. I'm guilty of that in my videos. When I first was creating... when I was creating, like, if you look back at my original teams redone at, like, when I made the base video, not the, my first video, essentially, not the, not my rewrite, but, when I first made the teams for Ash, I had some opinions in there that I just don't agree with today. Ew, that just made the line gross. Will you use a ZA Mega and XY ATR? If a cool one gets revealed that I think fits the story I'm going for, yeah. No, all Megas are on the table for Kanto. Or, I mean, Kalos. Yeah, so dude, those are good reasonings for it. It's like one of those things where I'm just like, I've been so not unbrainwashed, that has implications. I've been so, like, when I write my series of, like, you know, doing the oddball thing, that I can make any Pokemon work for Ash, that I want, as long as I write them well enough. Wait, could I just do this? Do that. Control T. All right, sweet. That does a lot of my work for me. The secret to digital art, kids, is finding the stuff that makes your life easier. Because I'm in a full program, which means I don't have to draw everything by hand like this. I can find, you know, knowing your program is just as important as being able to draw on it. Sorry if I'm not responding immediately. I'm really actually concentrated on this. might have gone a little too big with the feet over here. Do something like that. Will Ash get a shiny Corviknight? You know, I don't know. You could put Ash in a different anime. What would it be? Probably like Digimon or something. Ash could get a Licky Licky in Sinnoh. Yes, he could. That is on the possibilities. You are right, Splatterspark. The secret is the undo button. Hey, what's up, Ion? Stream, don't listen to Ion. He's all the megas are shaped like XY truther. Do not be brainwashed. It's funny, by the way, that the chat moves slower than I talk. So, like, I'll say something and then already be off it, and then I'll see the comments come in for it. Can I do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Monster rewrite, please? I've thought about the idea of doing rewrites for, like, a Digimon or a Yu-Gi-Oh! But, like, I don't think the format of those series really lends themselves to a way I could do it like my Pokemon one. Boo, Ion, you're wrong. Stop listening to Taco. He's wrong. But if I were to do a rewrite like that, it would basically kind of be just going over the plot of it and the different decks people would use, but it would be like more of a summary of what I would do rather than a like full-on what I'm doing here. But I don't know, because the algorithm also does not like when people do things out of their intended topic. So I don't know if it would do well. Maybe I would like make like a secondary channel for additional rewrites. I don't know. I can make an Licky Licky work on Ash's team. I can make anything work on Ash's team. It's just how I write it. I have not tried the new Digimon game. I've never played any of the Digimon games like that. I played like Digimon World DS when I was a kid, but I have not gotten to like a Cyber Sleuth game before. Do you think Ash should bring back his old mons every time he challenges a new league? I think it depends, Pika Boss. It was cool in Sinnoh. But, like, I'm generally not too big a fan of Ash just bringing back Mons at the end. I would rather we see him kind of, like, swap in and out different Mons over time. Not, like, from his main team of that team, but, like, sort of kind of use them to help the newer members. Like, I feel like it's more justified if I see older Ash Mons reappear throughout the series and then they're in the league, rather than just kind of bring everyone in all at once. It kind of depends on the series. Like, I feel like Sinnoh lent itself well to that, but I don't think, like, a Unova or a Hoenn, or maybe Hoenn, but, like, I don't think, like, a Unova would lend itself well to that. And that's mainly because Ash's rival at the end wasn't the final battle. Give him little big cheek marks. All right, I think that works. Actually, what I'll do is whoop and whoop. I'll do that. The first shiny I get will be a shiny Shuckle. We'll see. I feel like a Pokemon that wouldn't necessarily fit Ash, but would be cooler for him to have is a Poliwhirl because his Jap name is the same as the creator of Pokemon, which is yeah. I toyed with the idea of Poliwhirl. I won't say if he gets it or not, but I've toyed with it. What do you feel with the new Pokemon and Palworld thing for some reason is still going on? I don't really care. I think Palworld's a bit of a Pokemon ripoff. It does its own thing, but I think just the design culture of it is very based in Pokemon. So I think it looks just too similar in a lot of aspects to Pokemon for my liking. Where I can see the point of, like, when people say it ripped off Pokemon, I can see what they're saying. There's some designs in there where I'm like, that's a Pokemon you stole. That's not original. But in other cases, they are original. So it's kind of up in the air. But generally, I just don't give a fuck. Will you give Ash an electric type other than Pikachu in any other region? We'll see. I'm not against it. Anime questions before, but different. If you could get Ash in a Yu-Gi-Oh series, which one would it be? Probably like a GX. Is there any other design aspects I'm missing? Ooh. The shoulder fluff. I don't think this is my best work of what I could be doing with this, but I'm doing it on stream, which never results in like the best artwork I could make because I need time and like concentration. I don't think the Unova cartoon is bad. I think people get like I think it's bad in some aspects, but no worse than any other Pokemon series. I think a lot of the sins people put on Unova apply a lot to other series, and they let them have a pass. But can I be honest about something? I don't think Pikachu is being used enough in the ATR. Well, yeah, no, of course. Well, Pikachu is gonna have 8 seasons to be used, you know? So, like, he's gonna have plenty of time to shine. Like, what I need to focus on a lot of, is literally, like, endearing the audience to these newer members. But Pikachu has arcs. They just span across 8 seasons, same as Ash. So a lot of the things I have to do for Ash, I have to do for Pikachu, which is why you don't see him as much. Doesn't mean he's not going to be used, but he had his own Lieutenant Surge episode, you know? He had his little thing in Mount Moon with Ash where he didn't feel like he was being, you know, he was being put on the back foot. And in a lot of cases, just because Ash has caught a lot of new Pokemon fairly quickly because I want to show you guys them off, have them, you be able to bond with them and not wait until the last minute. Like, if I caught something at Gym 8 and stuff, it's like, you don't have a lot of time to really get endeared to that Pokemon. Are there any Mega Pokemon you would want to add to your YouTube banner? I mean, if like a Mega Feraligatr, I would add that. I would, like, replace the Feraligatr head with, like, the Mega Feraligatr head. No, I mean the Unova League cartoon as well, Bryosaur. Not sure if this was the brush that was, good to go with for lining this, but we're sticking with it. I'm not like entirely satisfied with what I did here, but we're gonna roll with it. The music back playing. Do a little of that. Is that the only orange? Yes. Get a little white for the tum-tum. And I realized a mistake in my line work that I gotta fix. Actually, you know what? Let's just go back. I haven't colored that much. Don't merge the... Alright, we're gonna do that. Give me... There we go. Add those back. I think it's on my base layer. Here is where the arm is. Will the new female companion that you give Ash, I don't know her name, but can't spell it, catch another Pokemon? Yeah, Giselle's gonna catch another Pokemon. Hey, Bryosaur, you're older than me. Do a little of that. Any other bisecting lines I have to worry about? No, I don't think so. Name this line. Get my eyedropper. Steal this. I'm 27 for reference. I'm 27, but I feel older. Ugh, the years, man, they take it off you. Those damn kids. And get rid of that. Let's see. So this is going to be body. This is a new thing I started doing. It's really annoying, but it's needed. Where I separate all my color layers so I can Ah! Alright. This is an easy fix. I thought I got that, but I guess I didn't. Because everyone hates me. Tummy. And we're going to shade that in. Bum, bum. Do you think your concepts for Mega Pokemon will be in the Legends DLC? Nah, I don't think I draw Mega Pokemon well. I think they're interesting ideas, but I think the only one I think that I did well enough was Masquerain. But even then, I don't think I encapsulated the spirit of Mega Pokemon well. Oh, they're glowing. Okay, I'm actually gonna go remove that line. What do you think you'll do if you're no longer a fan of a decision you made in the NTR a while ago? I either roll with it and figure out how I can improve it, or I retcon it. Like, I originally gave Giselle a Vaporeon. I realized that it was going to be really annoying to do a Vaporeon like that. And so I got rid of it, and I came up with a bullshit excuse. Teeth. I like how these are glowing. But generally I try and stick to my ideas pretty well. I try and plan well enough that I don't have to worry too hard. You know, I noticed the line on the ears. It is actually lower. Oh. You put any move in ATR? Basically, I just stick to whatever the regional, whatever that generation. That's my cap on what moves it can learn. So like I can learn anything. Like a Pokemon in Sinnoh can learn anything from between Gen 1 and 4 to the end of Gen 4, not just like Diamond and Pearl in the beginning and then Platinum and Heart Gold later. Like anything in that regard. But I generally cap myself off about at the at whatever the I cap myself off at whatever the region I'm in to kind of keep it more in the spirit of the series. It's always fun when you notice mistakes. Alright, that's coming out kind of fuzzy. What we're going to do is we're just going to redraw it in the position I like. Because I just noticed the way it was positioned, it was not in a good position. And erase that. And wha-bam. I'm 13, but I feel like a 40-year-old man when I'm compared to other kids my age. I feel that. Oh, movie. Yeah, I'm going to include as many movies as I can. Make that a smidge taller. It's perspective, so it doesn't matter too hard, but it bugs me. Have I seen the latest Horizons episode? I've not. I don't watch Horizons. I gotta, I know, but I don't plan to watch Horizons until I see something revealed that interests me, or if whatchamacallit? Or if I plan to do a Horizon, he looks evil there. That's awesome. I don't plan to do anything that to watch Horizons unless I plan to do a rewrite of it, which I would not consider until it's finished, and maybe until like ATR is finished. But also I thought about it, and Horizons is just a lot harder to do a rewrite of than Ash Ketchum series. Not because it's like so much more amazing than Ash. It's just I feel like people are a lot more attached to the characters in that series, where they're less flexible to change. We can just do that. It might be one of the worst animated episodes in Pokemon history, so there is that. You know, PD, at the end of the day, a Pokemon series is still a Pokemon series. Horizons fans, you'd be good to remember that. Ooh, cool. The tail also does that as well. Actually, I'm gonna make the tail glow as well, because that's fun to me. Wait. What layer did I color their ears on? Oh, it's that layer. That's bad. Do this. And, oh, I colored them on the same layer by mistake. Whoop. Ears. No, unlike Pokemon, no one's gonna leak the ATR verse. Yeah, because the only person who could leak it is me, and like Rose and my friend Abdul. But probably Alex and Xano as well, and Ion, maybe. But they'd never do that. I'd expose them to the masses. Or I don't know what. I'd spoil their series. I don't tend to do negative about the anime much, but I'm currently writing the review for it right now, and damn, it's hard not to be. You know what, PD? A little negativity can go a long way. You know, I'm always about being positive in a lot of aspects, but, you know, sometimes you gotta give a series, you gotta tell a series why it's doing something wrong. You're not telling anyone, but, like, kind of like, you know, too much unadulterated praise can make people think a series is better than it is. And, you know, Horizons has its flaws, and I don't feel like a lot of Horizons fans, not anyone here, but I've seen on Twitter, like, I think a lot of Horizons fans hold it to a standard that it doesn't really have. Or, like, hold it to a level that it's not about. Or it's not at. Oh, this also applies to cheek marks. So, you know what? A little criticism goes a long way. Unless you're afraid of the fans, which then I get. Psychos. Tail. Alright, I think we can get to shading finally. Alright, we're gonna start with the electric bits because that's the fun part. Do. Manga Pichu like return to Hamter. Yes, of course. I appreciate a good return to Hamter. When you get to Johto, will gym leaders actually use Johto mons? Yeah, I'm not afraid to change up the teams. Like, I'll revamp certain gym leader teams to be more in a line of what I think they should be using instead of what they're actually using. If only I'll do that because it's my re-rate and I can do what I want. That's a lot of my mentality is like, should I do this? I do what I want. Story-wise, it's fine. There's definitely some issues. Yeah, of course. I mean, like, the pacing of, like, the, whatever the guy, Lucian. Wait, is it Lucian is the villain? Or is that the hero? I always forget. That guy, the 6 Mons, the heroes. You know, the way we catch them. But this episode was so bad that it killed the entire episode for me. I didn't know that was possible. You know, it's probably the first in that regard I've heard that from someone. So, not of this episode, but of Horizons in general. I've heard, like, this wasn't a great animation. But I'm curious to go, like, take a peek at it and see how bad it really is. If only because I could make fun of it. A lot of creepy music in this lo-fi thing. Lavender Town scares me. A little of that. Adjust the small mistakes, because it bugs me. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't bother me, it bothers me a lot, and that one's still green! Do this for the cheeks. And we'll do this for the tail. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll see. I also noticed a smidge of color I missed there that I gotta fix. Oh, I love DBZA. Team 4-star is so good. I think it feels way worse because it's supposed to be the climax of the current arc. Ooh, that's bad. You know how the animation for the end of CGS looks so cheap? Imagine that, but for versus Leon. Ooh, that's brutal. You know what? I actually feel for your Horizons fans out there. That's a brutal way to go. It'd be one thing if it was just some random one-off episode. Then I'd just be like, tell a Horizon fan, I'd be like, why are you crying? Okay, so that's definitely a problem. We're gonna do this. What I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'll save that for later. Ash's Beedrill. I'm glad I could make people sad. It fills me with glee. Because that was the point. Be sad. What do I use to shade? Is this it? No. I think I used... Nope. There it is. like that. Make it a soft pressure opacity, so I can do something like that. Oh, no, I get the reference, Splatter Spark. Took me a minute there. I don't really know how to shade that well. I just kind of go off my gut. I miss my wife tails. I miss them a lot. I'll be back. Six different animation studios working on it and 11 different animation directors. Yikes. One of my top 5 least favorite Pokemon: Charizard, Talonflame. Yeah, maybe a little shading. Actually, there wouldn't be shading here. Actually, there wouldn't be shading up here either. Maybe like right there. A little darker. Something like that. I despise Talonflame and all its kind. You stupid fire-flying gale wings motherfucker. Also, I don't like Ash's Talonflame. Fuck that guy. You know, he still owes me like $20, Splatter Spark, and he just never paid me back, and I kind of hold that against him. There wouldn't be shading down here either. God damn it. I need more of a light source color. Yay, you. I don't know if I'm shading this how I would like it to be shaded. You know what? We're gonna do some old-fashioned dolly shading instead, because I'm not feeling how I'm doing this. I want a little bit more control. And you know what, Splatterspark? It was like my last $20 too. And he knew that. He knew that. He said, oh, I'll get you back, buddy. But you know what? He never got me back. No, I need a different brush. Well, traditional dolly shading of how I usually do this stuff. How many Pokemon do you think Ash companions should have? If, like, it depends on the companion. For, like, a Giselle or Brock level, a maximum of 4. For, like, if you're, like, not saying I'm using her, but, like, a Dawn or a May type deal where you're in contest, 6. It kind of depends on the companion and what they're doing. Like, if they're actually competing in something, give them a team of 6. Like, you wouldn't want to give them, like, a team of 3 or something. That'd be stupid. Who would do that, XY? Do you not despise Ash's Talonflame because it's boring moveset? Oh, I also despise... Well, I don't despise it for its moveset, but I take points away from it. I just don't care for it. I think it's an overhyped bird that in reality doesn't do a lot, but gets this praise because of the animation of XY. Like, I don't think Talonflame is any better than, like, Unpheasant or Noctowl. Maybe, like, it's, like, just above them, but I don't think it does anything unique other than B and XY. Like, truly, I think the only two good, No, don't worry, Splatter Spark, I got it. I'm quite versed in internet lingo with people, so I understand, most of the time I can pretty much, if someone misspells something, I understand it. Well, not the sucky part about Noctowl is that he had a cool personality in his debut episode, and they just never did anything with it. Like, they just made him boring afterwards. He got a sick battle against Morty. Like, that's more than a lot of birds could say. But truly, he, like, was not that guy. And again, Noctowl gets his own... People give him points for being shiny. And it's just like, bro didn't do anything with his potential, you know? I don't know why I'm being careful, like it's gonna go into the other color layers. What Pokemon from your old Pokemon remade teams do you dislike the most? That's a hard one. I'm trying to think on that. I'm trying to also remember all my teams. Part of one, I think, is... It's not... I don't think I dislike any of them. I think they're just, like... It's one of those things where I'm, like... I thought about the choice later on, and I fixed them now, so I don't really have any hard feelings on them. I think probably the ones I don't like the most of, is probably my choice to use Espeon and Quagsire and Johto. And that's because I worked really hard... It's because I didn't have the mentality to give Ash a proper team like I do now. And so I fell into the mentality of, I don't have any other options, so I'll just use these two. When I could have made options. I could have done something cooler with them. They were just very boring to me. So that's why... So those would be the two off the top of the dome. Favorite star of every region? Bulbasaur, Cynical, or Typhlosion. Actually, I love the Johto stars all equally. I'm not a fan of Meganium or Bayleaf, but if we're talking base forms, I like those all three equally. Mudkip, probably. Chimchar. Snivy. Honestly, I like all three. I like all three Kalos starters pretty equally too. Rowlet. It's a tie between Inteleon and Grookey. I like both, but or Sobble and Grookey. I did think I like Sobble more though, and I hate all Paldea starters equally. And Hisui is Cyndaquil again. Final evolutions, same rules, same applies. Then, and for Johto, it's just, I think it's, for Alligator. And, well, it's a tie between Feraligatr and Typhlosion. Yeah, there's always one potential man in all of Ash's series. Like, some I feel like have a few more than others. Like, some aren't horrible about it, where I feel like they do a bad job. But, like, I'm curious what I would think. What does every potential Mon Ash has? You know what? I think a lot of the cases the birds could be that. For some of them, I think it's probably any of Ash's extra mons. Probably actually it's like Primeape. I feel like people give Primeape for a lot of credit for very few appearances. For Johto, all of them. Man, it's just all of them. Like maybe not Heracross, but all of them. Hoenn. I kind of want to say it's Glalie, but I feel like it's just because he was caught so late and he just didn't have enough time to shine, even though he did do some good work for the time he had. The shading isn't perfect, by the way. I'm kind of just having fun with it. What am I looking for? I need the ears. Ash catching evolved Mon that I'm fine with. Where was I going with it? Torterra for Sinnoh. I would say the Johto and the Unova Pokemon have like an equal amount. Like, it's kind of like, I feel like a lot of them had potential, but they just didn't live up to it. Exceptions like Crocodile or something. For XY, I think it's Noivern. 100%. Alola? Melmetal, again, it's kind of a situation where it came late, which is why it's that. Let's see. And for Journeys, I mean, they gave them good showings. I think Dragonite, probably. Like, I feel like Dragonite's probably the one with, like, out a moment in my head where I think of, like, my god, that amazing Dragonite moment. What's my least favorite gym battle? Honestly, probably it's like not a hard toss up for me. Like anything in Kanto. I don't think there's really one Kanto battle I care for. Like just because they're all such, you know, there's just so like not good gym battles. Like it's the nature of the series like made it that way. So I don't discredit them for it. I just don't care for them. I've had to rewatch a lot of them for my own videos. And suffice to say, I don't... there's not really one where I'm just like, yeah, this battle's great. I love it. Light, as soon as they switch the director to Spy Dragonite. I got the feeling of it, because Dragonite seemed like it was set up for cool stuff, and then not a lot. I don't really care for any of the Journeys team in general. But, man, I feel like Dragonite got the short end of the stick. It's like, oh, what if we use Dracovish? It's like, fuck, I don't give a fuck about Dracovish. Yeah. The reason the Charizard vs. Magmar can is so memorable is because every other gym battle sucked. Basically, yeah, no, you're 100% correct, PD. I mean, like, a lot. I mean, it's not even how Ash wins his gym battles. Like, I remember watching the Erica battle and stuff, and I know how it ended, but, like, I forgot that, like, literally in the battle, like, they would just use, like, a move, and the Pokemon would be done. Like, Pidgeotto got taken out, like, with, like, one Stun Spore in Koga's battle. You know, Misty's battle got interrupted. Brock's was a fiesta of sprinklers. Like, you know, you could argue for Lieutenant Surge's battle, but I don't like the reasoning behind it. I don't think they do a good enough job about why Pikachu shouldn't evolve. Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't like the way it's structured of, like, Raichu, you know, didn't learn all its speed moves and evolve right away. I don't know. Maybe it's because I write gym leaders to be much more respectable people and, like, adults in society. So, so Lieutenant Surge being this child of, like, you know, where it's just like, I evolved him quickly because I don't need no puny Pikachu. Like he's a cartoon supervillain, doesn't really appeal to me. Like, I mean, I also write the Pokemon world very differently. I treat the League as much more of a governmental body that actually looks out for the well-being of their towns and their regions. And not just some Joe Schmoes in charge of a fucking gym that people can challenge. So, I've said this rant before multiple times, but sort of like when it comes to Pikachu's for Raichu, like, the reason why Pichu doesn't evolve, like, I don't think, let me make this clear. I don't think Pikachu should have evolved in Lieutenant Surge battle. I feel like if you're going to evolve Pikachu, this is for all rewriters out there. If you are going to evolve Ash's Pikachu, you have to write, like, a narrative arc for it that leads to evolution of why it would evolve. You can't just evolve it randomly. It's one of those things where it's not like a normal Pokemon where it's just like, oh, I evolve Raichu or something, you know? It's or like, I'm going to do it at the Lieutenant Surge battle because that's a point where they got a Thunderstone. You got to come up with a good reason for it. And that's more of a, like, I'm one who caters to my own opinions when it comes to a lot of writing decisions I've made, rather than, like, what I think other people would like or and such. Pikachu, people have strong opinions on whether Pikachu should evolve or not. Some people are totally for it. Some people are wholly against it. So if you're going to do it in your rewrite, make sure you narratively build up to that moment. Otherwise, people are going to hate it off rip. Do you prefer when anime lean more into comedy seriousness? A little column A, a little column B. I think one of my biggest problems with XY is that I feel like Ash lacks a lot of the, like, Kanto-isms. Like, Ash in Kanto is an immature baby a lot of the times, but he's fun. He's spunky. And I feel like Kalos Ash, in my opinion, is just very boring and bland. I feel like he's very stereotypical. I feel like he's very you know? Like, he's Ash Ketchum, but he's not a good Ash Ketchum, in my opinion. I don't think he has I think he's very squeaky clean, is the problem. So, looking back on him, I'm just, like, you know, oh, Misoji, also a good point, like, sword fighting, where I know a lot of military people, like, a lot of military people. I watch a lot of military people. You know, there's a certain way, if you're gonna write, like, a veteran of a war and stuff, not like a World War II, but like a modern day veteran and stuff, there's certain ways they act, certain ways they talk, and certain ways they joke that, like, is not Surge. Some maybe, but, like, you know, they're idiots. So Wiko, I think you kind of have to have a balance of both. There is the comedy in there, but you also need the serious moments. I feel like that's what makes Sinnoh a good series, minus the filler. There's a lot of filler. You know, you kind of you need to balance the good and the bad. Because otherwise, if it's too comedic, you get Kanto where nothing can be taken seriously and like nothing really matters. But if you take it too seriously, you get something like Kalos, where everyone's kind of bland because of how serious it is, you know? When you're writing a character, you want to write them as a fully fleshed person, where they can be funny, and they can be dumb, and they can be serious, and they know when to hold them, and they know when to fold them, you know? There's levels to it. And I see your question, Pika Boss. I'm thinking on that. I feel like they should have taken Sinnoh's filler and turned into a Cinnaball Frontier arc. They could have had the time you give more sequence wins to Ash Team, not name him for an ape. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of like one of those things where I'm never sure, because I feel like it's sort of like, if you want to do another Battle Frontier arc, you should give it the same gravitas or the same respect you gave the Hoenn Battle Frontier, and not just as like a training arc, you know? But also, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't even know what I myself will do with the Sinnoh Battle Frontier. So when it comes to Ash's weakest link on every team in terms of battle, Pidgeot for I'm just going main team in my head. So Kanto has a lot of like randos on there. It's definitely Pidgeot for Kanto. Oddly enough, it is Totodile and Johto. I know that sounds crazy. Totodile gets one cartoon win against like a Kingdra, but he does nothing. He's got nothing going for him. He is actually very useless on this team. Noctowl at least has a gym battle underneath him. You know, Vampy got used. Like, but Totodile is the weakest link. Torkoal, Hoenn, that's very easy. Here's the hard part about Sinnoh. At the end, it's Torterra. He's very much the weakest link because of all his losses. In some ways, I would say it's Gible, but also they kind of oversaturate Gible and give him wins where I don't think he deserves wins because of Draco Meteor. So it's kind of little column A, little column B. For Unova, that's a hard one. I want to say it's Unpheasant. I know that's weird, but like part of me wants to say Unpheasant. Like, I don't think they're all equally like the best in the fucking world, but I also don't think they all equally suck, you know? I feel like there's levels to it. It kind of depends on the situation. Evolutions could go a long way of just making this team better. Noivern for XY, super easy. I think writing-wise, it's Dragonite. My heart wants to put it as Dracovish. Oh, Alola. I wasn't looking down that list. You know, I don't think there's a weak link on Alola. And that's kind of, I guess, if you had to pick one, you could put Melmetal. But again, I don't think he's the weak link. Weak is relative. Because I don't think he's the weak link because, you know, no, Bulldor actually does some solid work. Actually, Bulldor performs. I don't think people give Bulldor enough credit. He actually goes out there, he does his job, and he goes back. You know, sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses, but he's pretty solid overall. Melmetal, I would say for Unova, or not Unova, Alola, but it's merely because he just doesn't have the screen time to be better. But he's good enough. Like, I truly don't think there's a weak link on the Alola team. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. Why Raichu? Yep, my smoothing's on. Do little shacky shacks. Yeah, but you know what's funny? I'll go over them. Ooh, that looks cool. Am I going to include held items? Yeah, I'm going to include held items. Maybe not for everyone. Maybe it's only a Gen 5 thing, possibly, because that's kind of when they really made their, like, debut. Like, I don't want to say they made their debut, but a lot of good held items were introduced in Gen 5. So if I were to do them, it's probably around there. So in terms of, we went over battle-wise. I think writing-wise for each of Ash's team members, in terms of main team members, who's the weakest written? Pidgeot takes the gold again in Kanto. Totodile, I think, actually takes it again in Johto. Some of these are kind of double up. Torterra, because of how narratively he failed. Actually, well, he had a strong start, so I'm actually going to give that to Gibble. Weakest... I guess there are some cases in terms of potential loss. Snivy and Oshawott, I think, are two of them. Kalos, it's everybody but Halucha and Greninja. And Journeys, it's everybody. Alola solid. I'm not biased. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to blending options. Drop shadows are so much better in After Effects. Why does Photoshop place kind of suck ass? Yeah, something a little like that. My reference material, can you erase that? Hey, Mega Raichu Y. Also been annoyed with the fact that some Mega Stones just flowed down from nowhere. Same reason I dislike people thinking Meowth is default and 2 legs when it was always quadruped. You know, I'm gonna come up with a good story for Mega Stones of why they exist and how they work. Charcoal. Mega Raichu Y. Yeah, Phantom Tarek, you're 100% on that. Ash Greninja isn't really a good... well, it's not a good story, and it's not a good... Ash Greninja as a form is not written well. I guess... Well... Surge would definitely use Y. Y is more of his speed. In terms of its aggressive nature. I don't want to say Ash Greninja isn't written well, because they do a lot of setup for it. The concept of an Ash Greninja is just bad. This being the super special Greninja that only Ash has, and it has this cool original form that no one else can get. You know, and it specifically, like, looks like Ash when they bond and whatever. It's dumb. But yeah, I think that we've been running for nearly 2 hours. That's way over when I usually do these. I think this is where we're going to end it for today. I would like to thank you all for watching. We'll draw like X next week here, next Saturday. But hopefully next Saturday, actually, we have rather than streaming this, I'll be streaming the Q&A later in the day for the episode. So thank you all for watching. This has been a fun video, and I'll talk to you guys later.